The magic castle, once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers flowed with crystal clear water, there was a small village named Windermere. The villagers were a close-knit community, living simple yet fulfilling lives. They farmed the land, tended to their animals, and celebrated the changing seasons with festivals filled with music and dance. Yet, despite the harmony that filled the village, there was always an air of mystery that surrounded Windermere, for on the highest peak of the nearby mountains stood a castle that was said to be enchanted. The magic castle, as it was known, was a place of legend. It was said to have been built by a powerful wizard many centuries ago, who infused the very stones with magic. The castle shimmered in the sunlight, its towers reaching towards the heavens, and at night it glowed with an ethereal light visible even from the village below. No one in Windermere had ever dared to venture to the castle, for it was believed that the castle was guarded by ancient spells, and that only those with a pure heart could enter. In the village there lived a young girl named Elara. With her bright eyes and adventurous spirit, Elara was different from the other villagers. While most of the children were content with playing in the fields and forests, Elara was always drawn to the unknown. She loved hearing stories about the magic castle, and as she grew older, her curiosity only deepened. She often wondered what lay within its walls and what secrets it held. Her grandmother, who was one of the village elders, would often tell her tales of the castle, filling Elara's mind with visions of enchanted gardens, talking animals, and rooms filled with treasure. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves turned gold and the air was filled with the scent of apples, Elara made a decision. She would go to the magic castle. She could no longer resist the pull it had on her. With a determined heart, she packed a small satchel with some food, a warm cloak, and a map of the mountains that her grandfather had given her. She told her parents that she was going on an adventure, but she didn't tell them where she was going, for fear they might try to stop her. As Elara set off on her journey, the villagers wished her well, unaware of her true destination. The path to the mountains was steep and winding, but Elara was undeterred. The higher she climbed, the more the village disappeared from view, replaced by the vast expanse of the mountains and the distant silhouette of the castle. As she walked, Elara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. She was venturing into the unknown, and she had no idea what awaited her. After several hours of walking, Elara reached the foot of the mountain where the magic castle stood. The castle was even more magnificent up close than she had imagined. Its walls were made of smooth, white stone that seemed to glow with an inner light, and its tall, slender towers were topped with flags that fluttered in the breeze. As Elara approached the castle gates, she noticed that they were made of intricate wrought iron, with patterns that seemed to shift and change as she looked at them. Taking a deep breath, Elara reached out and touched the gate. To her surprise, it swung open silently, as if it had been expecting her. She stepped inside and found herself in a courtyard filled with the most beautiful flowers she had ever seen. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms, and the sound of birdsong echoed through the courtyard. It was a place of pure magic, and Elara felt as if she had stepped into a dream. As she explored the courtyard, Elara noticed a path leading to the main entrance of the castle. The door was made of polished wood, with a large brass knocker shaped like a lion's head. Gathering her courage, Elara knocked on the door. To her amazement, it opened on its own, revealing a grand entrance hall. The hall was vast and opulent, with marble floors, high ceilings, and walls adorned with tapestries that depicted scenes of epic battles and magical creatures. A grand staircase led to the upper floors, and chandeliers made of crystal hung from the ceiling, casting a soft, warm glow over the room. Elara was awestruck by the beauty of the castle's interior, but she also felt a sense of awe at the magic that permeated the place. As she walked through the hall, she heard a soft voice calling her name. Startled, Elara looked around but saw no one. The voice called her name again, this time more clearly, and she realized it was coming from the staircase. With a mix of curiosity and caution, Elara ascended the stairs, her footsteps echoing in the silence. At the top of the staircase, Elara found herself in a long corridor lined with doors. The voice called to her once more, guiding her to a door at the very end of the corridor. Taking a deep breath, Elara opened the door and stepped inside. The room was a grand library filled with shelves upon shelves of books. The walls were lined with ancient tomes, and in the center of the room was a large wooden table covered with maps, scrolls, and an assortment of odd trinkets. Standing by the table was an elderly man with a long, flowing beard and robes that shimmered with a faint, iridescent light. His eyes twinkled with wisdom and kindness, and Elara instantly knew that this was no ordinary man. This was the wizard who had built the castle. "Welcome, Elara," the wizard said with a smile. "I've been expecting you." Elara was stunned. You know my name?" The wizard nodded. "Indeed, I have watched over Windermere for many years, and I have seen you grow into the brave and curious young woman you are today. You have always been drawn to this castle, and I knew that one day you would find your way here." Elara's heart raced with excitement and questions. "Why did you build this castle? And why is it said to be enchanted?" The wizard's smile grew wider. "The magic castle is a place of great power and knowledge. It was built to protect the secrets of the ancient world and to serve as a refuge for those who seek wisdom and truth. The magic within these walls is not just in the stones or the spells, but in the very essence of the castle itself. It responds to the hearts of those who enter, revealing its wonders only to those who are pure of heart." Elara listened intently, feeling a deep connection to the castle and its purpose. "But why have you called me here?" The wizard's expression grew serious. "Elara, the castle has chosen you. It has sensed the strength and purity of your heart, and it has opened its doors to you because it believes you are worthy of its secrets. But there is a task you must complete, a challenge that will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." Elara felt a surge of determination. "What must I do?" The wizard waved his hand, and a large map appeared on the table. It depicted the entire kingdom, with the castle at its center. "There is a darkness that is spreading across the land," the wizard explained. "It is a curse that has been awakened by those who seek power for their own gain. The curse is slowly draining the life from the land, and if it is not stopped, it will consume everything." Elara's heart sank at the thought of her beloved village and the beautiful forest being consumed by darkness. "How can I stop it?" she asked, her voice filled with determination. The wizard pointed to a spot on the map, deep within a dark forest far to the north. "There is an ancient artifact hidden in this forest, a crystal of pure light. It is the only thing that can break the curse. But the journey to find it will be dangerous. You will face many challenges along the way, and you will need to rely on your courage and the help of others to succeed. Elara nodded, her mind made up. I'll do it. I'll find the crystal and stop the curse. The wizard smiled, his eyes filled with pride. I knew you would. But remember, Elara, the magic of the castle will be with you on your journey. Take this with you. He handed her a small, intricately carved pendant on a silver chain. This pendant will guide you and protect you. It will also allow you to call upon the magic of the castle when you need it most. Elara took the pendant. Feeling its warmth in her hand, she placed it around her neck, feeling a surge of confidence and resolve. With the map in hand and the wizard's blessing, she set off on her journey. The path to the dark forest was long and treacherous. Elara traveled through rugged mountains, across vast plains, and through dense forests. Along the way, she encountered many challenges: raging rivers, treacherous cliffs, and wild beasts. But with the pendant's guidance and her own inner strength, she overcame each obstacle. As she ventured deeper into the northern lands, the air grew colder, and the sky darkened with storm clouds. The forest she sought was a place of shadows, where the trees were twisted and gnarled, and the ground was covered in a thick layer of mist. It was a place where few dared to enter, for it was said to be cursed. Undeterred, Elara pressed on. She could feel the presence of the curse in the air, a heavy, oppressive force that seemed to drain the very life from the land. But she also felt the pendant's warmth, a comforting reminder that she was not alone. After days of searching, Elara finally found the entrance to an ancient cave hidden deep within the forest. The map had led her to this place, and she knew that the crystal of light was hidden within. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. The cave was dark and foreboding, its walls covered in ancient symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. Elara could feel the curse's power growing stronger. She ventured deeper into the cave, but she refused to be afraid. She knew that the crystal was close, and she was determined to find it. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Elara reached the heart of the cave. There, in the center of a large chamber, stood a pedestal made of smooth black stone. Atop the pedestal rested the crystal of light, a gem of pure, radiant energy that shimmered with every color of the rainbow. Elara approached the crystal, feeling its power pulsing through the air. She reached out and carefully lifted the crystal from the pedestal, feeling its warmth in her hand. The moment she touched it, the cave was filled with a brilliant light that banished the darkness and dispelled the curse's power. With the crystal in hand, Elara made her way back to the entrance of the cave. As she stepped outside, she could see that the curse had begun to lift. The sky was clearing, and the forest was slowly coming back to life. Elara returned to the magic castle, where the wizard greeted her with a proud smile. You have done well, Elara. The curse is broken, and the land is saved. Elara felt a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. I couldn't have done it without your help, she said. The wizard nodded. You have proven yourself to be brave and true. The magic castle will always be here for you, and its magic will remain with you as long as you live. Elara returned to Windermere, where the villagers welcomed her back as a hero. The land was restored to its former beauty, and the story of Elara's journey to the magic castle became a legend that was passed down through the generations. And so the magic castle continued to stand as a beacon of hope and magic, a place where those with pure hearts could find the courage and strength to face any challenge. And Elara, now wiser and stronger, lived a life filled with adventure, knowing that she had the power to change the world for the better.